agenda and have some comments, then we'll hear those now. So is there any noted conflicts of interest?
No.
So let's start with the first item then, is a conditional use permit to operate a short-term rental at 392 Main Street. Mr. and Mrs. Leon and Tina Stewart.
If it pleases the chair, I can give the staff report and then we can open the public hearing, take any comment, and then the commission can deliberate. The ADU, the accessory dwelling unit, has already been constructed and exists at the rear of the building and has alley access. The conversion of the ADU to Airbnb requires a conditional use permit from the city per the mini code as mentioned in the staff report. Staff doesn't have any grief whatsoever with this conversion. There's plenty of area for parking and for access. The conditions of approval that are included are really ones that we've used in other locations for a similar use. And mainly the idea behind the phone number is there's somebody to call that's on deck if there's some sort of disturbance in the neighborhood, or if the PD needs to get a hold of somebody who isn't there. We believe the findings for the use permit can be made as shown on page 4 of the staff report, and that the conditions of approval are reasonable as included as attachment A. We would recommend approval of this project following Planning Commission deliberation after the public hearing.
Okay, so let's proceed with the public hearing. At this point, we'll designate that as an open meeting, and we request presentation from proponents, those in favor of the project.
So we're Leon and Tina Stewart, and we're proponents of our project.
Okay.
And we're happy to comply with all of the requirements listed in the agenda.
Okay.
Do you have any questions for me?
No questions at this time? Do we have any opposition to the project? So I'll designate the hearing as closed then, and let's hear from the commissioners.
As long as it's, do they have an ADA requirement? Is it safe? Is it a safe?
We can look into the ADA requirements. We don't currently have any sidewalk or ledges that would create any fall. There's one step in front of the door, just where the platform is there. And on the side, there is a paved area where we have a hot tub.
Okay. I just want to make sure you don't get in.
Yeah. Thank you.
People look for that. I'm just putting
Okay.
it out there.
Thank you. And we haven't decided for sure if we're going to actually rent it as an Airbnb or just use it as a home office. So it's still an if at this time.
So you mentioned the conditions of approval, and you understood those?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So do we need to go over those with you at this point?
No, I think I understand them.
Okay. Any additional comments from commission? If not, entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the conditional use permit.
I'll second it to approve it.
We have a motion to approve and a motion to second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Thank you.
We're approved.
Thank you very much.
Sure.
You guys have a good night.
So the next item on the agenda is a public hearing for, let me find it, conditional use permit for a mobile food trailer proposed by Elsa Kwan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Before you this evening is one of 2 conditional use permit requests to operate a mobile food vendor at the South Weed exit of the city. This first one is by Wong Roman and is located just on the other side of the existing grocery store that's on the south side of the drive. As noted in the staff report, it's a vacant lot, and per our code, we have certain requirements that we have for mobile food vendors, one of which is to obtain a conditional use permit. The conditions that we've included in the staff report are mainly to ensure that when the food vendor, first of all, the mobile food vendor, per our own code, has to be removed each night. So it can't be a trailer that's simply parked there and becomes a fixture. Poncho and Lefties in Mount Shasta would not be permitted per our code, for example. It doesn't allow a trailer to be there semi-permanently. Secondly, I have a concern with some of these things where they show up for a while, and if there's a garbage can or other kind of paraphernalia that goes to support the trailer, and there's nobody there to monitor or pick up after it, it can become a nuisance. And so we want to make sure that each time they shut down the trailer for business, whether it be for the weekend or for however they wish to do that the site is secure so that people don't just start putting trash in the dumpster or trash in their trash can and generally making a nuisance of themselves. We believe food truck is fine in this location. Our code requires a conditional use permit. So following the public hearing, staff would recommend that the Planning Commission deliberate and consider the conditions of approval included as part of this. We are recommending approval.
So let's go ahead and open the public hearing. And we'll first hear from the proponents, if you're present.
No, we're not. No, we're not.
Which food truck are you?
We're not with the food truck, but we also came to ask for help because we have something in our home and we got cited for it.
Okay, that would be for city council, not planning commission.
Okay,
Yeah, so if there, yeah, you would want to address city council.
and how do I do that?
Well, go ahead, we'll have to wait till after the.
Yeah.
So with no persons present, I'll go ahead and close this hearing and accept information from commissioners.
Can I ask who's held accountable on if they do start throwing trash or leaving trash? Is it the property owner or the food truck?
It is the property owner.
Thank you.
All conditional use permits run with the land, and it is the property owner's responsibility to comply. That's why our conditional use permits require a signature of the landowner.
Thank you.
And in this case, for Elzagon, it's he is the landowner there as well.
That is correct. I should have mentioned that, I promise.
Okay, the same guy owns the land.
He's been in operation for some time. Why is it just now coming before?
The mobile food vendor ordinance was put into place, and he's just coming into compliance with that.
Okay. All right.
He does a clean job.
And doesn't he need to put up porta potty?
The way that I've written the condition of approval is to either put up a porta potty or demonstrate that he has permission to access a nearby restroom. This is a complaint that we often get from mobile food vendor, from brick and mortar folks near mobile food vendors is, well, they come over here to wash their hands and go to the bathroom and then they buy their food over there, and that's just as unfair. So the way I've worded it is to allow either or maybe it comes up with a deal with a gas station or what have you. But I wanted to provide flexibility for the business owner.
Do we know if he is complying with that?
That we don't know.
Okay. Comments at all from Planning Commission?
Go ahead.
Did he get permission for the other people, his customers, to use other people's bathrooms?
That's what we were just
Yeah, that we're not sure. I think usually his customers come from Pilot.
Actually, the employees probably go over there.
oh. Do have a question. So with something like that, does he have parking available? Because I know when it gets busy out there during lunchtime, you have all the trucks coming into the truck stop. Now, is that something that he's required to offer, so all the customers aren't parked on the side of the road?
Yeah, the side of the road is up for grabs, right? It's a public roadway, and they can park. Anybody can park there, as often occurs. The site is large enough to provide for parking, and if he does have parking on the site, then he needs to make sure that it's dust-free and doesn't create, as dust-free as it can be. We're recommending just throwing some base down to ensure that that occurs. But there is plenty of area on this site to allow for parking off-site, so it just needs to make sure that the driveway is clear. And that, as you can see from the photo in the staff report, people park there with trailers because it's, a long curb with nobody in front of it. I think once business starts to go in there and it seems to be obvious they're blocking a business, folks will choose to park on either side of the driveway.
Further comments? I'll entertain a motion at this point.
I'll make a motion to approve the El Saguan mobile food trailer conditional use permit.
Do we have a motion to approve? Do we have a second?
Yep, second.
We have a second. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All right, let's move on to the next one is conditional use permit, again for mobile food trailer for Josephina's.
Mr. Chairman, this is the second of the two mobile food trucks. This will be located on Black Butte Drive, or Chestina Drive, I'm sorry, and would be located in that vacant lot that's behind, in between the hotel or the motel and the former restaurant that was located on the front. Similar to the previous, there's quite a bit of land here. There is a drive access onto the site, as can be seen in the photo. And this has the same conditions of approval, very similar conditions of approval to the one we had previously. And to answer the one planning commissioner's question from before, the property is actually owned by Margaret Dean, who is a signatory to the use permit. Again, the use permit runs with the land. It doesn't run with the owner of the food truck. So in this particular case, they're two separate people. As with before, staff is recommending approval of the mobile food vendor with the conditions of approval as indicated in the staff report.
Okay, so once again, let's open the public hearing and hear from proponents. Doesn't appear we have one, nor do we have any opponents. So let's go ahead and close the hearing and listen to commissioner information. No comments? Do we have a motion?
You talk about the lot next to the old Silva's.
It is the old Silva's lot.
That is correct.
What's he gonna do for bathrooms?
I would assume the same opportunity is there. They have a gas station nearby. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm guessing McDonald's, huh?
If not, I guess they'll get porta potties.
They'll get porta potty.
Yeah.
Well, that would be a mistake out there, because if they did, people at 3 a.m. be tipping them over and everything else.
Yeah.
The wind.
The wind would get them really
I was going to say, you'd have to anchor the dang thing in cement to keep it from blowing over.
Yeah. You'd have to run stations.
That would not be a pleasant experience, just saying.
No.
Okay, no further comment. Entertain a motion.
Yeah, we approve.
I'll make a motion to approve the,
Okay, we have a motion to
Just-
approve. Do we have a second?
Second.
Do we have a second? All in favor?
aye.
Opposed? Okay, so let's move on. Was there any issues with the minutes from the February 15th meeting? If not, commissioner reports.
No report?
No reports. Staff report?
No report tonight.
Boy. Do we have a motion to adjourn?
I make a motion to adjourn.
Second? Do we have a second? Meeting is adjourned.
You really like that, gal, but you.
Thanks, Mark.
We'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, Mark.